Go Jackets.
What is going on, everyone, and welcome to WreckTalk. And today, if I'm not mistaken, is the one-year anniversary of Brent Key taking over the helm for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets yesterday, a year ago. One of the greatest things to happen in a while in Georgia Tech happened. We fired Jeff Collins. We wiped the stink of him out and brought in Brent Key. So today I want to talk about, we've talked a lot about the bling bling Haynes King. I want to look at some film, talk about what he does well, why he's been able to be successful, and how I think Buster Faulkner, play calling wise, has really put the Georgia Tech offense in some good positions. I also want to talk about what's gone on in the second half of these games. Why have we not been able to be as effective on offense? And why have we come out what seems to be flat on offense, particularly in the third quarter of games? I've said we've been outscored if you take out the South Carolina State game 30-7. So we're going to look into that. And I was surprised. It's not what you think. It's easy to say, play calling, we haven't been as aggressive. I can speak for Wake. That wasn't the case with Wake Forest. But before we get into that, there's been some discrepancy as to who the number one Georgia Tech YouTuber is. And C-Dog gets left out of that conversation a lot. And C-Dog probably is the number one Georgia Tech YouTuber. He is the OG. But Bryce likes to say he's the number one Georgia Tech YouTuber. And I'd like to ask you this. Present Exhibit A. Is Bryce a wizard? Saturday that seemed magical. Our defense, we looked at it. It didn't look good. We didn't have a very good hand. And we looked at it from all angles. And there was no reason to think it was ever going to get any better. And then Brent Key has the press conference. And he knocks people on the head. And all of a sudden, it looked like they had an ace in the hole. And it came with 8 sacks, didn't it? How about that defense, Ben London? That's what I thought. Can Bryce do that? I didn't think so. So, yeah, just consider that. Let's switch screens here and look at here. There's 2 plays in the first half of the Wake Forest game that really, to me, exemplify both what's special about Haynes King and I think how Buster Faulkner and or Chris Winkie put him in good spots. So this was the big play to Luke Benson. This is actually going to be a wheel route. So we'll let the defense get lined up here. They're kind of in their 3-3-5 stack, or their 3-5 stack here. Unless you can get pressure with these front 3, it's going to be a long day for you probably. So we've got Luke Benson here in the slot. And what really is a wheel route? Well, it looks like you're going to run a flat, but then you turn upfield like this. Now over here, we're going to run a post. And they just don't there's a tight window that Haynes King is going to have to fit this ball in. All right, and it's going to be, I don't remember, between these two. So you got the safety in the corner. I don't remember if it's this one or it's going to be these two guys. I'm sounding like an idiot. Let me get my pencil. So I am not 100% certain what they end up doing on defense, but usually this guy will have, this area of the field. This guy will kind of come in the flats. And then you have a window right here that you have to fit the ball into if you're Haynes King. So you got to find a way to fit it in between the two of them. It ends up being these two. Anyway, same concept. He has time. By the way, offensive line much improved. They do kind of end up bringing forward this guy. Doesn't really come, though, until later. Now, look here. Look at this little window right here. Where's my little, do I still have my pencil? I mean, look at the spot that this has to be put in. Haynes King makes the read, throws the wheel to Luke Benson, and we get a big play here. Number one actually gets out of position here. And, yeah, Haynes King, I mean, that's a really difficult throw to make. Looking back, let's say that this ball leaks over here. That's an interception. So, really good play by Haynes King there. I think they show it again, too. Let's take a look. That guy's really happy, as he should be. Oh, even better angle. Shows you how tight it is. Now, here's, we always talk about the chess match of offense and defense. If they really start trying to take away this guy from you, then you throw the post over the top for a big play. In fact, one was so out of position there, we probably could have thrown the post as well. So big play for our Jackets. Next play. This will be the big play to Singleton Jr. at the bottom of the screen there. Now, this is where these plays really complement each other well. What's going to happen here, we talked about the wheel route kind of is like you're faking a screen, or not a screen, but a flat, and then you turn upfield. Here, he just never turns upfield. He runs the flat, and instead of running a post, Singleton Jr. runs a go. Now, I believe we're manned up here, and we're manned up here. And then they have help over the top with the safety, probably in cover 3. Cover 3 over the top, and then man underneath. So, boop. They kind of get – this is kind of like a rub where you're trying to lose the defenders here. They actually do a pretty good job of covering. Again, the safety comes upfield. He needs to stay back. Thankfully, he does, and it results in a big play. Another ball. I mean, this is not horrible coverage. Haynes King just puts this in a spot that only his wide receiver can get it. And man, Singleton Jr. is a special player. Do they show it again? I think we do. Yeah. Look here, good route. So you get separation. This guy gets caught, coming up field a little bit, playing on his toes. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he doesn't have a deep third. Either way, 10 gets beat. Really nice ball. 10 doesn't have a chance of making a play on that. That's either going to be an incompletion or it's going to be a big play touchdown. Now, I wanted to show this. We don't talk about a lot how the fans contribute to a game. This is where a play didn't go our way. I think on like a fumble, they ruled it an incomplete pass or something. And right there, this guy says, hey, I don't agree with that. That's not good for Georgia Tech. And he lets his opinion be known. This guy says, yeah, Wake Forest, I approve of that play. One more time. Really breaking this down here. he does a good job at getting the knuckles, right? He gets the knuckles into it. So really good form on the bird there. Now, moving into the second half, and it's hard for me to see some of these time stamps. Yeah. We do go 3 and out. I think on the first possessions, penalties really stalled out the drive. But it's not like we're 100% flat in the third quarter. Here's a play where Wake really blows us up on the line of scrimmage and gets penetration. And Singleton Jr. just makes some jukes and gets to the outside. I mean, really, if you heard Brent Key in the press conference, he said, Jamal really just can make things happen where nothing's there. This is what he's talking about. So, boom. I mean, this guy blows the play up. I mean, this should be a big tackle for loss for Wake. Whoop. And I want you to watch. I want you to watch this guy get put on skates. Is there a keyboard shortcut for that? I probably can make one. Watch this guy get put on skates. Juke. Oop. And this guy, he's got no idea what's going on. We got to see that again. I mean, look at this juke. Oh, snap. I mean, look at how far away from Jamal is when he was right in position to make the tackle. Jamal's, I mean, man, he's a good player. And then you got Haynes King throwing a block down there. So, again, I mean, we're not completely flat on offense. Really what I saw in the third quarter is we just, for whatever reason, have trouble executing in the third quarter. So here we get 3rd and 12, and we had converted, several third downs in the third quarter. And here, penalties put us 3rd and long. I like the play call here. I think we're just going to run. Basically, he's on a go, and then we have a curl. This guy's playing way off, and nice completion by King. Quick. Oh, not a nice completion. Should have been a nice completion. He's open, and we just overthrow him there. And that's what I'm talking about, execution. Just not. Yeah, we got to make that throw. Let's look here. Winding down the third quarter, 3rd and 9. This is one I do think we convert. He gets pressure. Similar type of play, except we make the completion. Here I think we had, Luke Benson coming across the middle of the field. It's obvious, by the way, I think that's Singleton Jr. It's obvious that Singleton Jr. is the number 1 target for King. Do we look at this one? Yeah, coming in the 4th, 3rd and 6. And this is not conservative play calling, by the way. Empty set. They're bringing pressure, ton of pressure. Now, this is an incredibly difficult throw for a quarterback where he's he's moving laterally to the line of scrimmage, and then he's got to try and throw across his body. Ends up just underthrowing this. But again, this is another execution thing. If we execute on the last play, we probably get in a position to shut the door on this game. Same here. We can just get a little bit more on that ball. If we can dial that up, we go up 27-9 there. Puts the game out of reach there as well. So it's not anything that's not fixable as far as the second half of games, right? Like we're just missing on a few plays here. We got to get sorted out. I want to show this too for, kind of just saying, well, we're just really conservative in the second half. To me, this is obvious. Like, we got to be able to pick this up on the ground. We throw the ball here, not even play action. Haynes takes time. And we just don't. Good coverage, right? Just good coverage. Not much Haynes could have done there. Really good defense by Wake Forest. Probably pass interference right there, whatever. But yeah, I mean, the conservative call there is to run. Then after seeing the result of the play, you think, well, we should have run the ball. This is why hindsight is 20/20. So I don't think it's a situation where we're being conservative. It's a situation where we're just not executing as well in the third quarter. And I do think that will improve. Going back to what makes Haynes King special, and this is what I've said I'd kind of like to see coming out in third quarter, is really pressuring the defense with the feet of Haynes King. Other thing is we haven't been great in the red zone, right? We've had to settle for a lot of field goals, and in the first 3 games we've missed a lot of field goals in the red zone. Here's just a nice little read option with King here. They all crash down inside. There's definitely a running lane here. And King will walk into the end zone. I think that was an RPO. He could have thrown it to 81 there. I think that's Luke Benson. I'd really like to see a lot more of that to pressure a defense in the third quarter of these games. Use the athleticism of King. And then once you kind of have a defense playing on their toes, and Key talked about it in the press conference, when you have to account for a mobile quarterback, it does limit what you can do on defense, and it can get you off balance. So here, I don't know if the corner gets confused thinking he has help over the top. That's Avery Boyd at the top of the screen. Just going to run a go. And this is, just straight man-on-man matchup. Who's going to go up and get it? And really good ball by, again, Haynes King. The problem here is that you can't wait until it's 41-17 to start executing on some of these plays. So I am optimistic about this Georgia Tech team. I know we've come out flat in the third quarter of games. Oh, man, not that. But if we can just dial up, some of these plays in the second half, we can have a really good football team. We can have a really good season. I do think we'll sneak up on some people. As far as the penalties, Key actually alluded to it that, hey, really what we had said, we lit a fire under their tails. Maybe they're a little bit more aggressive finding the middle ground. The other thing he talked about that you really like to hear is kind of the camaraderie, the chemistry of this team, a group, of young men coming together. Is that when they went for it on fourth, we didn't end up getting it, but the defense, I don't know if it's a defensive captain or someone representing the defense, they came up to the offensive guys and Coach Key and said, hey, we got your back, go for it. Take a shot here, go for it on fourth. If you don't get it, defense has got your back, we'll get a stop. So seems like the team's kind of starting to come together. Seems like the team's finding their identity. We kind of know what we want to do. And I'm excited. Coming into Bowling Green, I've said I'm just looking for 4 complete quarters, offense and defense. Let's clean up the penalties. Let's have 4 complete quarters. Let's not lay an egg in the third or fourth quarter on either side of the ball, and dominate a inferior opponent like we should be able to do. Get some confidence going into Miami. Who knows what can happen. So you guys let me know what you think. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. And if no one's told you today, WreckTalk loves you. Have a good one.